You're watching Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downey, and if you love Tennessee and you want even more videos dedicated to the Titans, then show it by liking this video right now. Producer Jeremy, who doesn't run the Titans channel, he runs other ones, he doesn't think you guys can do it. His exact words were, "They won't do it. They're soft and cowards." Let's prove Jeremy wrong and show my bosses that you do want more Titans videos like this one right now. This is Tennessee Titans today, and we are talking about Treylon Burks. Once again, I know, in the words of intern Jack, please do not shoot the messenger, but we're going to have the conversation again around Burks and his early impact at OTAs. And if there's concerns, because, well, now national media is raising concerns over, I'll use the word apparent or alleged, conditioning concerns for Burks. Multiple times at OTAs, at rookie minicamp, he's had to leave practices for unclear reasons. Now, a lot of the background here is A, it's only May, late May as it is. I almost said as it may be, which sounds really weird. It's early, but this is a bit of a red flag, or was a red flag entering the draft to an extent. Here's what Breer of Sports Illustrated wrote recently. Quote, "One name to watch as minicamps approach, Titans rookie Treylon Burks. A couple weeks ago, we went over his weight issue in the Monday AM QB, is his, column, I'll call it, and how it was there for some pre-draft private workouts. I've also heard he quote-unquote labored to get through some of these, which was a red flag for certain teams. We'll see what sort of shape he's gotten himself into since." So this does make it sound a lot more firm and almost confirmed that it is a weight issue. There have been, was it allergies? Was a lot of weird questions on Burks with no firm answers from head coach Mike Vrabel. Based on Breer's comments, could go with the weight conditioning issue there. Now, that was a problem some at Arkansas. I had been told he got up over 240 at the end of his career at Arkansas and then used a lot of his pre-draft stuff to get back into shape for the combine, and allegedly that's why he didn't run as fast as hoped. He was 225, though, at the combine. That is not that bad of a weight for a player of his frame and build. So there's a lot of just, I'm going to use the word minor concerns here, because it is only May, but you need Treylon Burks bad on this football team. He has got to be out there, because Robert Woods coming off his own injury. If Burks, for God forbid, whatever reason, is not 100%, then Nick Westbrook-Kina, Dez Fitzpatrick's drawn some praise, Kyle Phillips. It's thin at receiver. So I am not that concerned, as I want to emphasize again before you all eviscerate me in the comments. But the comments is also a safe spot for you guys to express some concern if you have any. So are you even a little bit worried about Treylon Burks right now? Y for yes or N for no? Now, I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. So if you're watching on YouTube and an ad break plays here momentarily, we'll take advantage of it. While the ad plays, head down there to the pinned comment, type in Y for yes or N for no. I'm not super worried, but I am a little worried, much like how I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. I'm not that concerned for Treylon Burks. It's only May, after all. And I think he's going to be a fantastic football player. I love his fit in Tennessee. He's got a great chance to make an early impact. And I have seen the Jamar Chase can't catch stuff from last year. Then he has the best rookie season of anyone in recent memory at the wide receiver spot. So I am not concerned. Now, if this continues to be a problem when we get to August or even late July, we can revisit that conversation. But for now, I am more excited than I am concerned about Burks. And if you agree with me, show it by liking the video if you haven't already. If you are excited about the rookie first-round pick from Arkansas, like the video right now. We'll start with our receiver conversation here on Will Fuller. Fansided has pitched the idea of the Tennessee Titans signing Fuller, and in general, Sometimes the fans' ideas aren't the best. Sometimes they're good. And this one is the latter. I like this idea for Tennessee for a potential role, contract cost, opportunity cost, all that stuff. He offers something this team doesn't really have on the roster right now. That is actual deep threat speed with vertical ability. Now, Fuller has had a very tough time over his entire NFL career, especially last year, actually staying on the football field. Suspensions, injuries, and other stuff that was going on last season. But, as we'll get into, that actually might make him the perfect value for Tennessee. If the Titans sign Fuller or somebody else, you better believe we'll break it down for you guys here on Tennessee Titans Today. So if you haven't already, subscribe. We are inside of 420 subs away. Yeah, you guys get it. To get to the 4,000 mark. So if you haven't already, join us. Free videos almost every single day on Titans Today. As you can tell, Fuller's numbers were non-existent last year. Very weird year of early suspension that continued from 2020, which was his best year ever. Now, Fuller allegedly training with the same guy that DeAndre Hopkins trained with, and then that got Hopkins suspended, and then Fuller was suspended first, so it's the red flag on the PEDs there. But given his non-existent play last year and the medical history and suspension stuff and all that, I think Fuller would actually be a very cheap potential pickup for Tennessee. And if you add Robert Woods and Will Fuller on the outside with Treylon Burks, who I think should get early slot reps for this team with his play style and strengths and weaknesses as an on-field player, I feel a lot better about that receiver room. And if in fact Fuller gets hurt, which you probably sign him knowing it's not going to be for all 17 games, like more like 11 or 13, then you feel better about Nick Westbrook-Akina, NWI, being a receiver 4 as opposed to a 3. And Dez Fitzpatrick, if you can buy more time for him to grow and develop. And Racey McMath, who's your special teamer, and Phillips down there becomes your next slot guy. That veteran like Fuller, I think it's a good fit and good timing for Tennessee. So I want you guys then, whether it's Will Fuller or somebody else altogether, to name a player who you guys want to go out and sign. Drop that player's name for me, or names if you're an overachiever, in the comments. Let's move now to Dillon Radunz, who is fighting, which is a nice way of saying not a locked-in starter at not just right tackle, but also left guard. And this, at least for me, this does raise red flags, even if it is early on in his career. Year one was a disappointment. His head coach, Mike Vrabel, comes out and says he is not ready to start yet. And Radunz did a great job of spinning it, saying, well, yeah, he's right. It's May. I'm not ready to start yet. Good answer, Dillon. I don't love hearing this because this offensive line has 3 locked-in starters. Taylor Lewan at left tackle, Ben Jones at center, Nate Davis at right guard. That would then leave Aaron Brewer, Jamarco Jones, Dillon Radunz, and Nicholas Petit-Frere battling for 2 spots. And I think Jones, much like Radunz, can play guard and can play tackle if you need him to. But in general, I don't love battling at 2 different spots. And left guard and right tackle are really 2 of the more different spots on the offensive line. Left guard, you're set up a little bit tighter space. You don't have as much leeway between you and your opponent. It's much more of a phone booth. But then right tackle, you're also totally flipping your footwork and hand placement. So everything's reversed, and you can't find 2 more opposite positions on the offensive line outside of right guard and left tackle. I would prefer working at 1 spot. And the fact that Tennessee's giving Radunz work at both means I don't think they fully trust him to be the guy at either one. And given what you drafted him to be, that is an issue for me. So we're not done talking about Dillon Radunz and the other guys competing for those starting jobs. But what do you want to do with Radunz as he enters year 2 in Tennessee? Type in S to start him in the comments, or B for you don't want him out there, you want to bench him instead. Radunz barely played last year, 2021 in a grand total of just 124 snaps. That's on offense, by the way, despite being a second-round pick. He allowed 2 sacks in those snaps. That's a very large sack amount in a very small sample size, relatively speaking. 3 hits, 3 hurries, and not a great PFF run grade. The other problem that I run into here is as it relates to one Aaron Brewer and Jamarco Jones. Neither guy has been that impressive. Their career stats here, the PFF run grade is their average, which is a little bit of a loose average because their grades are weird, but no one does offensive line play, so I do what I can. Jones has played left guard and left tackle and all over the offensive line. Brewer's mostly been an interior player there. I think Brewer's a little bit better than Jamarco Jones, but I would feel a lot better if Brewer was my number 1 interior offensive line backup and Jamarco Jones was my super swing at all 5 positions. I don't really want either guy starting. Finally, there's Nicholas Petit-Frere, the 3rd-round right tackle out of Ohio State, who I thought was much better in 2020 on the right side than on the left side in 2021. These are his 2021 numbers. That is a lot for an early-round pick on the offensive line. He had issues against Michigan and I think Penn State as well. So overall, I am not confident in this Titans offensive line. And make no mistake, the ideal outcome is that Radunz emerges at least one of those spots, maybe preferably right tackle. But if he doesn't start this year, you got to wonder if that light bulb is ever going to go on for him long term.